Alright, this is going to be the notes and homework for rotations for 8th grade. I know here up at the top that it says that it's going to be talking about just strictly 90-degree rotations. Don't worry about that part because I'm going to tell you each time what we are going to be doing through these. So number one, we have to come up with our original coordinates first. So looking at point A, which is right here, it's going to be 1, 2. Point B, right there, is going to be 2, 4. Point C is going to be 4 and 1. What we're going to be doing is doing a 90-degree clockwise rotation. For our new points, I'm going to teach you guys to do a little bit of a trick. What I like to do is I like to take the original image and I like to just turn the darn thing upside down because I think it's going to make our life easier. I'm hoping this will make sense whenever I do this. Or not upside down, but whatever direction we have to rotate it. If I take this image and I rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, so in the direction of the clock, that is where my image should end up on that first coordinate plane. So I'm going to cheat just a little bit. I know there are negatives marked right here, but I'm now going to call this point A prime, this will be B prime, and this will be C prime. My coordinates for A prime are now going to be 2, so I'm looking right here, 2, negative 1. So A prime is 2, negative 1. B prime is going to be 4, negative 2. 4, negative 2. And finally, C prime there is going to be 1, negative 4. 1 and negative 4. What I want to do is I want to compare the coordinates because there are similarities between both sets. Looking right here, I'm going to compare A and A prime right now. A was originally 1, 2. A prime came out to 2, negative 1. So looking at our algebraic representation, we started out here with an x and a y as 1 and 2. And whenever we changed it up, they both swapped places. We went from 1, 2 to 2, 1. So now these two have switched places. But one other thing happened. That original x has changed its sign. So since it changed sign from x to negative x. So these are going to be our new this will be our algebraic representation for 90-degree clockwise rotations. Taking a look at number 2. This time around, we are going to do a 180-degree rotation. We're going to start by getting our points. So A is at negative 5 and 4. B is at negative 1 and 1. C is at negative 4 and 1. So I'm going to do exactly what I did before. I'm going to take this image that I have, and I'm going to flip it 180 degrees clockwise. So here's my image. I'm going to go 90 degrees first, and now I'm going to go another 90 degrees for my total of 180 degrees of rotation. Once I've done that, I can call my new points. Well, there's A, or what it was originally. I'm going to call this A prime. I'm going to call this B prime. And I'm going to call this C prime. I like this trick of just flipping it simply because you can see where the points are going to be at. Because this image ended up here in the bottom right, so it should end up in this bottom right section of the original graph. So now I need to get my new points. I need my A prime, my B prime, and my C prime. A prime is going to be at negative 5. No, not negative 5. I'm sorry, that's the positive direction. That will be at 5, negative 4. B prime will be at 1, negative 1. C prime will be at 4, negative 1. Now again, I'm going to compare my coordinates just like I did before. We're just going to look at A for this section. A to A prime. Except it didn't mark. There we go. A to A prime. This will be my original set. We are going to start at X and Y. And here's what I'm going to do to them. Looking at A to A prime, I went from negative 5. My X went from negative 5 to positive 5. It didn't change its location. It just simply changed the sign. From 4 to negative 4, again, it didn't change location. It just changed its sign. So this is going to be our algebraic representation for a 180-degree clockwise rotation. Taking a look at number 3. we're going to do this for, okay, so I've got my coordinates right there. I'm going to get my new points. We're going to start with A. A is 1, -4. B is 2, -1. C is 5, -3. So I'm going to do, this time around, we're going to do a 270-degree rotation. We're going to continue doing it clockwise. So I'm going to take my picture that I got here. Here's my picture. Okay. And I have to rotate it pretty much 90 degrees 3 times. So I'm going to rotate it. There's 90. There's 180. And then there's 270. So I have all of my rotations that I need in there now. Now I'm going to go mark my coordinates. This will be A prime, B prime, C prime. And I'm going to read this just as if it was set up correctly, or set the coordinates were set up right. So for A prime, I have to go over 4, up 1. So that's 4, 1. B prime, I have to go over 1, up 2. C prime, I have to go 3, over 3, and up 5. So 3, 5. Again, I'm going to do this just like I've been doing. These are going to be my original coordinates, X and Y. And I've got to figure out what I'm doing to them whenever they move. I'm going to continue to look at just A and A prime. So between A and A prime, I've got 1, 4, then I have 4, 1, which means that these two are swapping locations again. So I'm using the wrong marker. There we go. So X and Y are reversing to Y and X. Between the -4 and the +4, our original Y has changed its sign. Because we went from -4 to +4. It didn't necessarily go negative, it just changed sign. So this is our algebraic representation for a 270-degree clockwise rotation. If you have questions about this, make sure you guys are asking me when it comes time. On the back side here, there's only one other that I really need to talk about. It's a 360-degree rotation, but I think this part's fairly obvious. But I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. So A is at -4 and 3. B is at -3 and 1. Oh, -1. I'm sorry. Both of those are negative. I misspoke. And C is at -1, -4. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take my original image. I'm going to copy and paste it on mine because that's easy enough for me to do. You guys will end up rotating it. So I'm going to take this image and I'm going to rotate, like you can rotate your entire page to see it. I rotate my image. There's 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and now 360 degrees. Well, if you look at it, they're the exact same. The coordinates, everything are going to be the exact same after that rotation. Just because I feel like I need to, I'm going to call this A prime, B prime, C prime. Well, the coordinates are all the exact same. Which means that my algebraic representation, if nothing changed between X and Y, nothing is going to change between the other X and Y either. For the actual homework section, what I recommend doing is taking a look at these. So like number 1, I would flip your page and see which one's going to match a 180-degree rotation. I'll help you out on this first part just because it is one of the first ones. I can take my image, if I move it over here, I can do a 180-degree rotation. There's 90 and there's 180. So I'm expecting my image to show up on the right side with the graph, which makes it end up being C because it's the only one that has the image over there on the right side. I'm going to skip through the rest of these. Those are going to be on your own. The back page of this will also be on your own. Well, 5 and 6 will be. Now on number 7, I'm going to help you guys out just a little bit on 7 through 14. What I want you to do on these, on all, however many, 2, 4, 6, 8, on all 8 of those problems, I want you to draw the new image, and I want you to give me the algebraic representation. So, I'll do number 7 for example. They've given me the points already, but now I've got to rotate it. So what I would recommend doing is on yours, I would rotate the page just so you can see what it looks like after the rotation. So this will be my 90 degrees and my 180 degrees. So I'm going to plot those points. So looking right here, this is that M. Let me mark it. So that would be over 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 2. So from right here, here's my origin on this one. I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 1, 2. This is my M prime on the new image. For my V prime, that one from the origin, here's the origin on this one. It's to the right 2 and down 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go to the right 2, down 1, 2, and 3. So that's my V prime. And finally for T prime, T is already on the axis, so I just have to go down 1 from the origin. That is T prime right there. Connect my dots. That's my 180-degree rotation. And my algebraic representation, I can go back to my notes and check it out. X and Y don't change location on this one, but both of them change their sign. So make sure that you have that marked on your page. Again, last of those are going to be on your own. If you have questions, make sure that you guys are asking me.